It makes sense to me.
All right. Let's get into game one here of the night. We've got Jankyard playing Link up against Mr. Pina playing the Pokemon trainer. Both of these characters showing themselves to be pretty strong early on in this metagame. I'm of the opinion that Pokemon Trainer is the best character in the game.
Yeah, I think Pokemon Trainer is pretty clearly up there for all of the players who have played previous games.
Sure, I definitely agree. Oh, and as far as Link goes, I've only heard good things. I've yet to see like really strong gameplay outside of Fatality this past weekend, where he broke the Link out a few times, but he still kind of seemed to be more reliant on Falcon, which made me waver in how I felt about Link. But I'm excited to see how this match goes, see if it provides any more insight to why Link might be one of the stronger characters, according to a lot of people.
I like the way Mr. Pina is really setting himself up in neutral here. He's sticking to Ivysaur, trying to press that projectile advantage that Razor Leaf provides.
Oh, switching out actually to Charizard as soon as you say that, just because I think percents were pretty high. He's starting to get a little bit of rage himself, and this is starting to be this situation where, you can just really, throw off stage, threaten a really heavy punish. Oh my God, he just stepped on his head.
He just went out there. No fear.
I guess the coverage on Link's up B doesn't really cover directly above him. It's a little bit in front, that 45-degree up spot. Oh my God, you're just gonna eat damage from that Flare Blitz. I don't think Jankyard got caught in his dash. I think he just neglected to block out of his run on that Flare Blitz situation. But he ended up cleaning it up with forward air. So now we've got Squirtle, and a really annoying and fast character, hard to pin down, hard to hit, has a really good damage output.
Oh, yeah. All of the movement options allow for great option coverage and, real combos that some other characters just don't have access to.
Right, you've seen the down air and forward air stuff he could do, especially to super large characters. But once again, we're in this situation in neutral where Pina decides to go right back to Ivysaur, throw these Razor Leaves out, and kind of just play back while he has a lead. Oh, he got aggressive there, though.
The way Razor Leaf is interacting with all of Link's projectiles is just making it so difficult for Jankyard to, really make any progress in neutral.
I really like Link's up tilt in this game. In this game, and I come from a melee background, so this is a very different thing to me, he starts up tilt behind him, almost on the ground, and drags the sword up and forward very quickly, which is completely different than what he does in melee, where he starts from the front, and it's a rather slow and kind of sluggish tilt. But it still has a lot of, it hits really hard. It's got a lot of potency to it. So I really like that new up tilt. His F tilt looks like it hits hard. Link's a very pretty character when it comes to animation and feeling powerful.
Oh, yeah. Everything he does is oh, yep, that hurt.
Yeah, that's a heavy sword hitting me really hard. That being said, this game is getting a little bit away from him. Oh, and a fade back forward air, actually, telling Ivysaur to get away. But he's already sitting at 82%, and Charizard's out on the board now, so let's see what happens in this situation.
I have to think that was a missed input there, but I'm not sure what you could have been trying to cover if that was intentional.
Yeah, I don't know what that bomb could have been. Maybe he just wanted to drop it, and he just accidentally tapped B as well or something. Who knows? I'm not a Link player, especially not in this game, so I wouldn't know what kind of traps you're trying to set up, or if you want to self-bomb in some situations. I can see it being a benefit for recovery.
Oh yeah,
it helps
the same way you've seen it in Melee, and I'm sure Smash 4 had that as well.
Dude, that bomb looks like it takes up a lot of space, but I don't actually know how accurate that hitbox is to its animation.
I'm fairly certain it is almost 1-to-1.
Really? Yeah. Oh my God. And this is why you don't just raw Flare Blitz in situations where it can cost you the game.
Yeah. Flare Blitz, good recovery because of the armor. Not so good because it's extremely punishable on shield.
Super bad on block. Does not do a lot of shield damage. Keeps you hovering in the air and then puts you in landing lag when you land.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, that is when landing lag occurs. All right, so that was actually a super clutch. It felt like Jankyard was playing from behind that whole game, but he just kept his wits about him, ended up finding a position where he had control of center towards the end, and one bad flare blitz was enough for him to capitalize and take the game.
Yeah, everything starting from when he laid that bomb down when Mr. Pina was off stage led to him sort of forcing his hand with that flare blitz. I'm sure he could have recovered in another way, but it would have left him pretty open to the same situation happening again.
For sure. It's still jarring to me that you have to pick your character every time.
Yeah, coming from Melee, it's like, I just want to get back in there.
Yeah. It really is a pace changer. It like forces momentum to like slow down a little bit.
I'll do that in Melee. I'll absolutely sit on the character select screen for a while to like slow down momentum. Yeah.
Yeah. Ice out your opponent sometimes, as a lot of people like to say Wizrobe does. That was a cool setup.
That was actually kind of sick.
I do like how remote bombs function in this game because of how dynamic like the physics on bomb are.
Yeah.
Like we saw with Razor Leaf earlier, where he kept like hitting bomb with Razor Leaf, and it would like bounce it up and forward a little bit. That's really cool to have that kind of like almost soccer interaction where it's like, okay, well now the bomb's taking up this position, so I can't enter this space. And I have to be careful of Boomerang hitting it up and covering this platform now. Yeah, I really like how Link's design in this game. He's very very fresh.
Yeah, they took a character that we've seen a billion times in every Smash game, doing almost the same thing. Changed it up.
And then they gave us Young Link to keep that familiarity around, you know?
Yeah. Didn't want to get rid of Link.
No. Just put a third one in the game.
Yeah.
Just keep them coming. More Links.
It's the same thing as Dragon Ball. More Gokus, more Links.
Dude, more Gokus, more Vegetas.
We need more clone characters. Every game needs clone characters.
Echo Fighters. Yo, okay. That actually bonked Ivy on the noggin. And that's why it didn't go past, because Ivy didn't reel yet, so she didn't have invincibility and did not get to the ledge in time. So that was actually a really cool ledge. I'll say edge guard. I won't say a ledge trap necessarily. Yo, he parried his own bomb and just picked it right back up. Interesting. Dude, that up tilt's so good.
You know what it kind of reminds me of? The way it covers behind him is Fox's up tilt from Melee.
A little bit. Yeah,
it's used a little differently, but the idea of like instantly covering your back is pretty similar.
Right there with that bomb, that was a pretty good visual indicator of the accuracy of the hitbox to the animation, because that hit like the outside. Okay, all right. He DI'd up and he went away. I was not ready for that. That was wild. That was actually super dope, the DI mix-up.
I wasn't aware that there was a mix-up off of any of Ivysaur's throws, but
I'm gonna be real. I didn't know down throw could kill you at all. But I don't lab this character at all, so that's my own ignorance. Down tilt to up air though, and unlike we kind of see a reversal of what happened last game, where Jankyard now has a pretty healthy stock lead up against Mr. Pina, and it feels like as everything's been going further and further, Jankyard's kind of been figuring it out more and more. He's been playing set play faster than Mr. Pina has.
I think that's one of the things you'll see from a lot of the better players in like any game, is that they start to recognize all of their opponents' habits, and what started out as a deficit in game one becomes a very convincing lead by the end of game two.
Yeah, that's very prevalent, especially in faster paced games. And this is a much faster paced game than like Smash 4 per se. So you run into these things where it's just like, you can get absolutely steamrolled. I liked that switch to Ivysaur, not only to stall in the air to avoid dealing with that bomb interaction, but also to just be Ivysaur in this situation, who might be a little bit better of an application than Squirtle was in neutral.
Yeah, I feel like every time Mr. Pina has been playing true neutral with Jankyard, he's been advantaged.
And I also definitely, oh my god. Yeah, he's dead again. And we run into the same issue that costs him game one. Don't throw out that raw flare blitz. That one was a bit more scary because it was right in his face.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Jankyard was ready for it, and he said, you know what? No. You ever tasted the blade of evil's bane?